After the death of Hugo Chavez, it was announced that Nicolas Maduro was to be his successor, that he was to take over leadership of the party when he died. Now, as you well know, Venezuela just recently had an election where Maduro actually won 50.8% of the vote, and that is a very, very close victory. Now, the opposition in Venezuela said that it would accept the results of the election and not contest them. Yet here they are demanding a recount. Now, aside from the fact that they are going back on their word and they are demanding a recount when they said they wouldn't, I can understand why they would want one. 50.8% of the vote is very, very close. And just to practice due diligence, you would do a recount just to make sure that you got it right, because that could be an error enough to tip it in favor of one side or another. So I would say that a recount would be playing fair to do, although they did say that they would not ask for one. Now, in addition to this, as usual, there's claims of vote rigging that supposedly Maduro's party had carried out, that the popular Venezuelan Socialist Party had supposedly carried out. Although these claims come out every single election, and they turn out to be fake every time. Yet with Hugo Chavez one time, we found that the opposition had actually stolen one of the ballot boxes and refused to return it. Now, there's always these accusations of ballot rigging, election rigging, yet regardless of the fact that Jimmy Carter himself has gone to the country more than once and overseen an election and said that they were the most fair, open, and transparent elections that he had ever seen in his life. The opposition in Venezuela has yet to put forth any evidence of any vote rigging whatsoever. As usual, since the election did not go in the favor of the opposition, meaning it didn't fall into the favor of U.S. imperialism, Secretary of State John Kerry has demanded a recount and said that the race was too close and there's accusations of vote rigging, and demanded that there be a recount. Except who does John Kerry think he is to be able to tell another country that they have to do a recount? Particularly one that they have slandered and attacked and frankly have tried to own for numerous decades. I mean, where does he get off demanding a recount? He has no authority there. I know the U.S. believes, as they commonly say in their own expression, our own backyard. Venezuela is not the property of the United States, and John Kerry does not have any authority nor any right to demand a recount at all, regardless of the situation. Meanwhile, the right-wing thugs took to the streets and murdered 4 Maduro supporters. This adequately shows what outright cowards the right-wing in Venezuela are. They would rather slaughter the innocent people of the country rather than let Venezuela stay out of the hands of the imperialists. And quite frankly, support for Capriles, the opposition, is a vote for cowardice and hate for the Venezuelan country, its dignity, and its freedom and independence. Now, in addition to these cowardly murders, there has been an attack upon an office held by the ruling party. It was attacked, it was trashed. I believe it was set on fire. There's different reports about what happened, but I believe it was either set on fire or it was bombed or something like that. And I think this shows the true face of the right wing in Venezuela. For all the time that Chavez was in power, they claimed how state violence was going to be carried out against the people, and that the police were coming to kick down your doors at any time and arrest people for disagreeing with the government and using violence and murdering the population in some kind of Orwellian BS, which right-wingers tend to completely forget about, that Orwell was a socialist. This never materialized. Yet here we can see acts of violence being carried out in the streets, whether bombing offices or murdering innocent people. These attacks are coming from the right wing in Venezuela. Every horror story it is that they claim that the left was going to carry out in Venezuela, they themselves have actually carried out. We should also keep in mind that none of these cowardly tactics, murdering of innocent people and bombing buildings, will actually derail the Bolivarian revolution. These things cannot stop the people, and they cannot stop the liberation of the country. And I'm frankly of the opinion that since Maduro is a communist, outright he says he's a communist, I want to smash capitalism, which unlike Chavez, he was anti-capitalist, but he was not a communist. This man is. Frankly, I would say to Maduro, do it. Go ahead, smash capitalism. These people are so intent on taking money from the U.S. government to interfere in Venezuelan affairs to prevent the liberation of the Venezuelan people from the ruling class. Go ahead. March the army into their media stations that are taking U.S. money and spreading deliberate and outright lies, and shut them down. Go into their places of business, shut them down, and hand it over to the workers. There's no need for this. Just do it, get it done, smash the ruling class, throw them out of the country. If this is the kind of exploitation that they wish to carry out, if they wish to be the puppets of the U.S. government, then they may leave and go join their little puppet masters in the north. Let them do so. Throw them out. Send them to be with their beloved controllers. And let the people of Venezuela themselves control their own means of production and have their own society free from this brutal, ignorant, hate-filled exploitation brought down upon them by U.S. imperialism.